Hello gainers, I'm Ralphie and welcome to my channel called Fitter Philosophy, which is basically about experienced, lived, practical, philosophical stuff. And my subject today is living defensively. We're now at a moment in time in history where, due to the mechanism of change being more empowered by technology, we are seeing more and more change happening faster and faster. And one thing that I observe is that often the mistakes being made is because change is implemented too quickly without it being thoroughly thought through, and importantly without existing change being allowed to bed in, settle down, and for people to become fully acclimatized to it. And this causes people to feel restless, ill at ease, and increasingly nervous. At which point people are developing a sense of anxiety, and we're seeing more and more of this at the moment. People know something bad is going to happen, they don't know what, but they've got no choice but to weather the storm. And therefore, I want to take this opportunity to offer advice on what is called defensive living. And what you do is you take a sheet of paper and a pen and you create two columns. One is to know what keeps you stronger, what makes you safer, what protects you from sudden, swift and occasionally violent changes in the outside world. And also what leaves you weak and vulnerable. Now, it could be bad company, it could be too many demands by family or friends, it could be debts, it could be a gambling habit, it could be consuming too much alcohol or other narcotics, whether they be legal or illegal. This is the human condition. And so when we actually list down what leaves us vulnerable and weaker, we have to then find ways, including self-discipline, which has got a lot to do with it, of reducing the vulnerabilities as much as possible. For paying off peripheral debts, for example, for offloading on bad company, for concluding various events, missions or interests we're involved in that are not working out for us. And at the same time, we look at our strengths. We look, for example, at our situation in relation to potential violence. We look at the quality of friends that we've got who are good friends, dependable friends, friends we can turn to at a moment in need. And we basically grow them up. The real benefit is the process, because we're moving from a stage where we feel disempowered and powerless because of the changing world around us and what it is imposing upon us, each and every one of us individually and collectively. And we are tipping the tables, so to speak, towards empowering ourselves by taking action over what we can take action on, being aware of what we need to action but can't quite do so at the moment, but should be able to do so in the near future. And finally, what we cannot action, we do need to accept and we do need to acclimatize to. We don't suddenly become superheroes overnight in our own lives, but every little change becomes incremental. It all adds up, and over time we just get stronger. We do not need to wait for a crisis, because there's always a crisis round the corner, and that's part of the human condition. It's part of the narrative that is imposed upon humanity. But what we can do is be aware of it, examine it closer, see it more clearly, and then do something, because it's always better to do something rather than to do nothing.